From Korea to the world, Jungkook officially becomes the brightest global star. Hello BTS News. There are stories that quietly whisper their way into the hearts of many. But then, there are stories that roar across continents. Stories that start small, almost unnoticed, and grow into movements, revolutions, and global awakenings. This is one of those stories. This is the journey of Jeon Jungkook, a boy from a quiet town in Korea, who once stood silently in the back of a dance studio, and today stands at the top of the world. The roots of a legend. Jeon Jungkook was born on September 1, 1997, in Busan, a coastal city known more for its seafood markets and beaches than for producing international superstars. He was the second son in a modest family. He wasn't born into wealth or connections. What he had was something far more powerful. A dream. From a young age, Jungkook was drawn to creativity, drawing, singing, moving to the rhythm of music. But in a world that often silences young voices, he kept most of his dreams to himself. Until one day, he made a decision that would change his life forever. He auditioned for Superstar K, a Korean talent show. He didn't win. But that moment, that risk, that step into the unknown, caught the attention of talent scouts. And among the many agencies reaching out, he chose one that was then small and relatively unknown, Big Hit Entertainment. Why? Because he believed in the vision. Because he believed in the people. Because, deep down, he believed in himself. The Forge of Fire. When Jungkook joined Big Hit, he was barely a teenager. Young, unpolished, shy, but filled with raw potential. As the youngest trainee, he was often the last to speak, the first to follow. But silently, he observed everything. He trained relentlessly, often late into the night. His voice wasn't always stable. His dance wasn't always perfect. His confidence wasn't always high. But still, he trained. While most kids his age were hanging out with friends, Jungkook was sweating in rehearsal rooms, recording demos, watching performances of legends like Usher and Justin Timberlake, learning, improving, evolving. He cried. He doubted. He questioned. But he never stopped. In 2013, he debuted as the youngest member of BTS. He was just 15. And the world had no idea what was coming. Finding his voice, claiming his stage. At first, he was just the Magne, the youngest in a group of 7. But it didn't take long for fans to notice. There was something different about him. A voice so smooth it could melt even the coldest heart. A stage presence that demanded your attention. A passion that radiated from his every move. Over the years, Jungkook didn't just participate, he led. He sang like his soul was on fire. He danced like his body was made of music. He created, directing short films, painting, producing. He began to blur the lines between idol and artist, performer and poet, celebrity and human being. And the world started watching. Breaking borders, building bridges. BTS exploded internationally. And at the heart of that global wave was Jungkook. From performing at the Billboard Music Awards, to taking over Times Square on New Year's Eve, to addressing the United Nations not once but multiple times, he was no longer just a Korean idol. He was a global ambassador of hope, resilience, and youth. When Euphoria dropped, it wasn't just a song. It was a global phenomenon. When My Time came out, it wasn't just lyrics. It was a diary, a confession of a boy who had grown up under the spotlight and was still learning how to breathe. And when 7, Standing Next to You, and his solo debut album hit the charts, he shattered records that once seemed untouchable. He wasn't just in the charts. He owned them. Recognized by the world. It's one thing to be loved by fans. It's another to be respected by critics, brands, and institutions worldwide. Jungkook has been Named one of the most influential people by Time magazine. Crowned the most searched K-pop idol for years running. Chosen by global brands like Calvin Klein, LV, and Hyundai. Featured in Rolling Stone, Vogue, Forbes, not just as a pretty face, but as a force of creativity, discipline, and authenticity. He didn't just appear in these spaces, he transformed them. Loved by fans, adored by generations. Ask an army what Jungkook means to them, and you won't just get an answer. You'll get stories, tears, smiles, memories. Jungkook's music helped me through depression. His voice saved my life. His growth gave me the courage to grow too. To millions, he is more than an artist. He is a light, a friend, a reason. He doesn't speak of fame often. But when he does, he always says, "Everything I have is because of ARMY." I'll never forget that. And he means it. The official recognition. Now in 2025, the world is not just watching Jungkook. The world is celebrating him. He has officially been recognized as one of the most popular and brightest global stars. A title not earned through marketing tricks or media spin, but through years of honest work, unmatched talent, and unwavering sincerity. In a sea of celebrities, Jungkook doesn't just shine. He glows. Why his story matters. Jungkook's story isn't just about music. It's not just about breaking records or filling stadiums. It's about hope. About a boy who kept dreaming, even when the world wasn't watching. About falling down and getting up again and again. About never forgetting where you came from, no matter how far you go. It's about reminding us that greatness isn't reserved for the privileged. That light can come from the quietest corners of the earth. That one voice, honest and pure, can echo around the globe. From Korea to the world. Jungkook walks with quiet power. Not chasing fame, but walking with purpose. And every step he takes, millions walk with him. Because this is more than just music. This is more than just fame. This is legacy in motion. Purple Heart. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And in the comments below, tell us, what has Jungkook meant in your life? This story isn't over. The brightest star is still rising.